Welcome to Daily Focus, and I am thankful that the Lord has given us a beautiful day in February here in Michigan. There are some very high clouds periodically, but very blue skies, and the sun is shining bright, and it is a beautiful Friday. And I hope you're off to a great start and that your day is going beautifully as well. This is the day which the Lord hath made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. And I hope that that's your testimony. Well, we left Daniel as he's the leader under attack. Those that are under him are trying to find fault because they want to remove him. They want to somehow uh, discredit him or remove him from his place of leadership. And so they can't find anything. His life is full of character. He's a man of integrity. He's a man of principle, and he has an impeccable reputation. And they've come to the conclusion, if we're going to have anything against him, it's going to have to be in regards to how he serves the Lord. It's going to have to do with his principled life. And so they come up with the scheme, as you know, that they go to the king and they prey upon his pride and ego and say to him, you know what? There's really no reason for anyone to bow down to anybody but you, or to pray to anybody but you. You are the sovereign. You are the supreme. And he's like, oh, you know what? I think that sounds good. And so he goes ahead and signs the decree that if anyone does that, they will be thrown into the den of lions. And in verse number 10. Now, when Daniel knew that the writing was signed, he went into his house, and his windows being opened in his chamber toward Jerusalem, he kneeled upon his knees 3 times a day and prayed and gave thanks before his God as he did aforetime. In other words, this wasn't anything new. This was not anything that was out of the ordinary. He hadn't added anything to his life. He simply wasn't changing anything because of what the government, the authorities, was impressing upon him. Now, they actually banked on that. They were counting on that. And their whole scheming is that Daniel would be a man of integrity, that the very principles of living his life for God in dependence upon God would not change just because the law said not to do it. And Daniel didn't disappoint them. In verse number 11, then these men assembled and found Daniel praying and making supplication before his God. Then they came near and spake before the king concerning the king's decree. Hast thou not signed a decree that every man that shall ask a petition of any god or man within 30 days, save of thee, O king, shall be cast into the den of lions? And the king answered and said, the thing is true, according to the law of the Medes and the Persians, which altereth not. Then answered they and said before the king, that Daniel, which is of the children of the captivity of Judah, regardeth not thee, O king, nor the decree which thou hast signed, but maketh his petitions 3 times a day. Then the king, when he heard these words, was sore displeased with himself, and set his heart on Daniel to deliver him. And he labored till the going down of the sun to deliver him. Then these men assembled unto the king and said unto the king, know, O king, that the law of the Medes and the Persians is, that no decree nor statute which the king establisheth may be changed. Then the king commanded that they brought Daniel and cast him into the den of lions. Now the king spake and said unto Daniel, thy God, whom thou servest continually, he will deliver thee. And a stone was brought and laid upon the mouth of the den, and the king sealed it with his own signet and with the signet of his lords, that the purpose might not be changed concerning Daniel. So here we are. The king has been caught in their conniving. He's displeased with himself. I should have seen this coming. I should have saw through it, and I should have seen through it, and I should have stopped them. I should have actually dealt with these connivers, manipulators, but I didn't. And so he tries to figure out, how do I get out of this? How do I spare Daniel? And the Bible says that he spent all day trying to figure it out. And these men came back and said, no, no, you can't, king. The law is the law. You are definitely going to have to throw Daniel into the lion's den. And the king realizes that's true. He's going to have to. And so he calls Daniel in, and what a great statement he makes, which is what the title of this lesson is. And that is, thy God, whom thou servest continually, he will deliver thee. And what a great statement. What a great testimony Daniel has, that even though the king has been caught in his own arrogance, even though he has been manipulated and used like a rag doll, right? He all of a sudden he realizes, you know what? I've made a foolish decision. But Daniel's God has done incredible things. There is no doubt that Darius knew all about Nebuchadnezzar. There is no doubt that the stories of what Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego have been able to do through the power of God, there is no doubt Darius knew all about all of that. And his conclusion was, Daniel, your God, who you so faithfully serve every day, he will deliver you. These lions have no power. And we're going to find next week that the very familiar story, but where I want to draw the attention is the work of God in Darius's life. Oh, we realize that there's a day coming that these connivers are going to reap what they are sowing, what they wanted for Daniel, they're going to experience. And that's the principle of sowing and reaping. That's how it works. And that's why we better remember before we make decisions that they have a future. And the sowing and reaping principle is absolutely true. We better remember that. But I think it is amazing for all of us to go into this weekend remembering that our testimony before the unsaved world can be this: your God, whom you serve continually, he will deliver you. We look at a ever increasing secular humanistic world, an ever increasing liberal government. We live in a day where people become harder and harder to spiritual truth. We fight the temptations of our selfish flesh. But can I say to you what Darius said to Daniel? Your God, whom you serve continually, he will deliver you. And so we can rest in a sovereign, powerful God and just serve him with our whole heart, serve him enthusiastically, and serve him continually. It will be worth it. God bless you. I hope you have a great weekend. I'll look forward to seeing you again on Monday.